Hey guys, what's going on? Dace here, and today we're going to be doing something a little different. I'm taking a back seat so that I can chat with you guys while we just watch my recorded footage of Gunvolt, which I blasted through last night. After my first playthrough, I did a second playthrough because I was just loving this game, and I was like, yeah, you know what? It would be really cool just to, yeah, like I said, do something different where I'm not focusing on chatting and the game as well. This way I can kind of just talk about it while we watch, and that way it's a little more personal too, to some degree. So anyway, the thing I'm doing with this is I'm hacking out, like I'm skipping all the cutscenes. There is just a lot of talking. So this is pretty much bare bones, like just the level portion and bosses, of course, and the true secret boss as well is going to be in this, and it's going to be broken up into 3 episodes. So anyway, we're already right in the action, and that is okay with me. And I'm not going to be talking like the whole time. We got like 34 minutes or something anyways, so I will just be enjoying the show a little bit too. But anyway, I will get into a bit of the history. So essentially, like I found out about this game, Azure Striker Gunvolt, quite a while ago. It might have even been in 2018, believe it or not. And it was like someone on YouTube was saying how if you're into Mega Man style games, then this would be like right up your alley. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'll look into it. But I didn't actually get the physical until sometime in 2019, I think. And I didn't touch it at all. Excuse me. I'm going to get some water, because I have a jar right here, because I'm going to be chatting a lot, so yeah. So essentially, I didn't boot it up. I wasn't drawn, like, I was stoked to have it, and I knew I was going to really, like, dig it when I got into it, but I wasn't stoked to check it out right then and there. So it sat for, I could not even tell you how long. Like, I've had this game for so long, and there was one time where I did boot it up, but, like, just the non-stop chatting in the game was a turn-off at the time. Not that I'm crazy about it now, to be honest, but I played it for like a couple minutes, and I was like, you know what, I don't even want to like record this, because I was obviously in a situation where I was going to do like a first impression style whatever, but I was like, yeah, you know what, this is just too much chit-chat, like screw this. So it sat again, and it wasn't until like 2 days ago or so that I actually started it, and I was like, yeah, you know what, I'm waiting on the Mega Man Zero /ZX collection for Switch to show up, and I'm really feeling like some sort of Mega Man-like experience, so I'm gonna give this another go. I'm gonna actually get into it. I don't care what, I'll skip as much as I need to, just to like keep myself sane. And I got so into this, like it's really interesting getting used to how it plays initially, but man, like I blasted through this whole thing. I think my first playthrough was maybe 7 or so hours, and yeah, when I beat it yesterday, I cleaned up the last 2 levels yesterday morning. I was like, oh man, this is sweet stuff, and yeah, I figured it would be an awesome game to replay and just do this sort of situation where we're just chatting. So that's kind of like that story in a nutshell. Like it's a much more epic saga, believe me, but I want to keep the chit chat on that aspect on the shorter side, because we might as well just be talking about the game anyway. So anyway, visually, holy smokes, like look at the backgrounds and the enemy designs, as you've been noticing, and just all the colors, like the attacks, Gunvolt's flash field, which is that thing there that you're seeing. So for those who don't know, the way this works is you get different guns. I pretty much just used the basic one with like a special Orochi shot, which is that little droid or drone thing that shoots in different directions. That's just what I felt worked for me. I didn't really experiment with the other stuff. But essentially, you will do damage with your gun, but very little. The gun is mainly there to tag enemies, and you can tag 3 colors worth. So if you hit an enemy 3 times, I think that, yeah, the max color is like pink, like you saw there, that like that right there, that pink circle with the other stuff inside. That means that you'll be doing like the most damage when you start electrocuting them or whatever the flash thing is doing to them, which is like very damaging. So that's kind of like the idea. I think it's a really, really solid idea. Now I did start Gunvolt Chronicles or whatever it's called, Luminous Avengers. I did like, and by start I mean I did a video for like YouTube, of course, but I didn't return to it. But like, man, now that I'm in this mode of Gunvolt, I'm really, really stoked to actually be like doing number 2, because this is the Striker pack, so it comes with Gunvolts 1 and 2, and then I'm gonna get right into Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avengers, and I'll probably start a fresh file, to be honest, because like, yeah, it was a couple months ago, give or take, so I figured I might as well just have a fresh start. And I didn't even get too far anyway, like it was just like half hour or whatever the hell it was. So as you can see, we got some really cool things happening in terms of like just level layout, ways of maneuvering, all that kind of stuff. And it's one thing I was thinking about last night when I was going to sleep, because yeah, like I did 3 solid hours and I finished recording around 2 a.m. and then went to sleep right after, but my mind was still like, oh, like just thinking about all these great highlights and things that I could chat about with you guys. But yeah, one thing I love is that how like I grew up playing Mega Man, like the OG ones for Nintendo, and then I got right into Mega Man X eventually too. And so it's neat because like you always have like your Mega Man games that have like, okay, the fire level, the ice level, like all this is nothing new, and you've got that kind of stuff in here, or at least some of it. Like there's a lava-ish level. There isn't really an ice level, but whatever. But it's neat because like no matter how many times this sort of formula goes to those types of places, it's never like, oh, I've done this before. It's always this exciting, like, oh man, let's see what this is like. Like there's just something so cool about just revisiting. Oh, 222. Revisiting, or rather just visiting different versions. So I really like that. And this level here, the backgrounds, like I think it's just gorgeous. Like I've always loved, even going way back to Mega Man 4 Dive Man's stage, like where you're just in the water, you're in the ocean, you're seeing like aquatic robots and like all this awesome stuff and the cool colors they used. So this one kind of felt like, not that we're like doing like deep sea diving in this level here, but just the fact that it's like subaquatic, and yeah, you can see out the windows. Like it's just really, really cool. I love stuff like this. So yeah, as you can see, making my way up. Now, the first time I did this, I wasn't fully aware, because again, I'm skipping dialogue. I wasn't aware that like, oh, the water's rising, until I actually saw it chasing me, which was like it wasn't too long after that. But in this one, you're not really seeing much of the water except for here, because I know what to do and I'm being fast enough to just do it. So that's kind of that. But to be honest, I didn't even notice if the water does something once you're in it, because like you're so focused on just racing to the top before it catches you that you're just like, okay, just keep moving, like who cares what's going on, just things are getting wild, just go. Now, interestingly enough, in this run through, since I already have the hidden gems in each level, you're not going to see me like seeking out things like that at all. And something else I will mention is that when you finish the game, you can save your file. And what I really thought was cool about this game specifically is that you have a level up system. So you get experience, and you just get like more HP and all that kind of stuff as you level up. So I think at the start of this run, I was maybe around, I'm not even sure what level. I was maybe like almost level 40 or something like that. So it's going much faster than it would if you were just starting out. Unless you're like a speedrunner who practices like all the time, which is not me. I don't really have much experience with this game. But at the same time, this is not as demanding as like Mega Man games could be. Like this is, if you ever, okay, let me word it this way. I never found Mega Man to be like challenging. Like it gave you a challenge, but it was not as crazy as I hear a lot of people say. So one thing that I've heard from the people that think Mega Man is way harder than I found it to be is that like Gunvolt games are easier. So if you're ever looking for like, you like Mega Man and all that kind of stuff, but you're just like, oh, the platforming is just like crazy difficult, then this is kind of like a lighter experience that you can just get into, blast your way through stuff, level up. I think that would help a lot of people too, just the fact that you can level up and have like HP. Like every level helps. I think near the end, I think for the last 2 levels I had like, I think a little over 300 HP, and I was like definitely having struggle, but I helped. Or what helped was not only leveling up a few times and just having even like an extra 20 or 30 HP, but just, of course, more experience going up against the bosses that you're struggling with. Because one thing I don't like in games is when like you rely on the leveling up to survive. I like when you still have to actually earn your victories and all that stuff by actually knowing what to do and playing well. But I don't think it hurts to sometimes have a system like this where you do get to level up your stats. So that's really cool. Lazy laser. But yeah, it was great just ripping through this. Yeah, every level pretty much can be done in like anywhere from 3 to 7 minutes. This, like I said, this is going to be a 3-part episode because, like, yeah, I'm no expert at the game. It was just like something I really want to blast through and share. But I think I saw one speed run at like 53 minutes. And of course, I haven't even checked if that's the fastest or if people have beaten that or whatever the case is. But this is definitely longer than 53 minutes. Like altogether, I think, yeah, it's give or take an hour and a half or something like that. Hence why I wanted to break it up. But anyway, lots of really cool enemies. The thing I love about the guys we just passed is the awesome, like, cool steely colors they have. Like, they just look like such cold metal for some reason. So we've done subaquatic, we've done... I think this is just the second level that we're into. So this one we got like lots of little like jumper or like push pads. Man, but I'm so pumped for when Mega Man Zero comes. It's been years since I had those games. Reverse osmosis. Another thing I'm hacking out is I think I showed it in the first level just to like demonstrate. I wasn't even thinking about talking about it at the time, but you might have noticed a thing where at the end of the boss it's like stage clear, and then you like select a bunch of things depending on how you do and what rank you get. You get to choose more of the mystery items, which ties into the gear system that they have. It's really cool. They have like all sorts of resources and different things that you can collect, and then you can synthesize different chips or like gear. And when you have like, let's say 2 of the same or whatever, you can fuse them into like a stronger version of whatever function that would have done for you. So you've got stuff like the flash field does more damage, but drains faster, or you have ones where it's like, okay, you can double jump, or you can get like an extra jump. But if you combine like 2 of those same things, then it's like, oh, now you get 2 jumps after your additional jump, or you get like an air dash, like that kind of stuff. So that can really help in terms of just finding the gems, like getting in areas that you might not have an easy time reaching. Like none of them are really challenging, to be honest. I don't think any of the upgrades are necessary to get them, but if you are struggling, there are things that you can do to kind of just give yourself that extra edge, so to speak. So that's kind of like the gear system. There's a lot of different things, and as far as I know, you can go up to like, you can level up your character, I think, to level 100 or 99 or something like that. I'm not sure what the absolute limit is, but I think by the end of this run we're watching now, I was at I think close to 50, and it's just amazing to see the HP difference. It's not huge, but still, when you think about, yeah, the difference between 300 or 350, then it's just like, yeah, that's gonna make a big difference for the final boss. And I remember when this part was happening, I was just like, can we just get the fuck up? Like, not that I was actually like upset about it, but it was just like, you've got to be kidding me. How is it taking this long to get up those goddamn jumper pads? So anyway, we're almost, oh my god. Oh, it's like every Mega Man game has a section like this where you've got to be like landing in certain areas, otherwise you just fall all the way to the bottom of the level again. Oh man, good times. But yeah, these bosses, oh, are just so cool. I'm not sure if it's this one or when we fight this guy again later, but like normally I do this guy flawlessly, and I think one of the times I fight him in this Let's Play, it was just really sloppy. But as long as you like just pay attention to what they're doing and like get the practice in, they're all pretty simple to deal with. Like sometimes those things that shoot, sometimes they do it all at once, and other times they take turns, so you've got to just pay attention to what's going on. And the flash field can be used to serve as like a shield, obviously, but like in the sense that if you have, there's like an energy system. I didn't pay enough attention to really utilize it like I could have. There's a way to like reload it if it's down in the red, like you can see, but now it's at 93% again. So there is a way to like recharge it. I think you just double tap down. I never found there to be much of a use. I don't feel like I needed that. But essentially, as long as you have like enough energy, then your flash field can serve as like a way to prevent damage, and so you can kind of like prolong your health in that sense, if you're struggling in a boss fight or whatever the situation is. So I think the only, other than like the way you fight and like that kind of stuff, the only difference between this and Mega Man games in terms of the formula is like you only have 6 bosses at the start, as opposed to like the classic 8. So that was like the only thing I really noticed. Otherwise, it's kind of the same thing. Like you do your initial bosses, and then sometimes it's broken up with like a side, not like a side quest, but like a, oh hey, by the way, do this like one little standalone mission thing and fight this boss, and then you'll go back to like the later stages. So I always love stuff like this. If you've played Metagal or Metaloid Origin on Switch, those are also Mega Man-like games, which I enjoyed playing through for sure. But compared to this, holy smokes, like this is just a whole other breed of Mega Man-like, in my opinion. I'm so glad I got into this. Now, in number 2, I won't talk much about this because I haven't looked up much, and if I do number 2 as well in this fashion, then we can just talk about it then. But you can play as an alternate character, and I'm really stoked to check that out. So depending on how into it I am, I might even just do like one session through the game with the main character and then the alternate character as well. We'll see what gives when we get there. But yeah, this is another cool level. I just love the enemies. Like, we got these guys with just big-ass rocket launchers, and then you just have the drone-style enemies, like, floating, shooting at you. And then you've got the bigger machines, and even those guys that we just jumped past, those are ones where, like, if you're on the same floor surface as there, then they start to move faster and just go back and forth. So, like, definitely major inspiration from, like, classic Mega Man, because, like, those types of enemies have been in Mega Man for as long as I can remember. Then we got explosive containers, so that's always great. And of course, what Mega Man game is complete without, or a Mega Man-like game would be complete without a train level? I remember Mega Man 5 going up against Charge Man and just riding on the top of the train and blasting my way and loving that kind of stuff. And I'm not sure if it's in Mega Man X4 or 5, but Slash Beast or whatever his name is, that's another train level, and that was really cool too. I think I want to actually... I've done Let's Plays of some of those X games, but I think I want to do more of them. And I probably will going forward, because you know what? After Secret of Mana and things like Lacrimosa, which were just like... Yeah, like, definitely... Well, Lacrimosa was awesome. I have issues with Secret of Mana for sure, but I think Let's Plays in general of RPGs are just things I'm gonna kind of not do so often, unless they're definitely on the shorter side. So I'm thinking more in terms of, like, yeah, why not stuff like this? Because this is so easy to bang out. It's action-packed. There's not a lot of running around, not a lot of editing out like this and that kind of stuff. So I can see myself doing more things like this, and I'm trusting we also get more Mega Man-like games, because they're just such a blast. Like, I remember, like, when I first got into playing games, it was like on original Nintendo, and it was like Super Mario Bros. And like that kind of stuff, which, yeah, like, I enjoyed them growing up, but like there was still something about them that wasn't like holding enough weight for me. It was like, yeah, okay, yeah, whatever, like they're cool, it's like fun to just play around. But when I first started playing Mega Man, that's when I got hooked on like games to a greater degree, I would say. There was just something about Mega Man games that was just like, yeah, this is exactly the kind of game that I am talking about. So yeah, I'm really trusting we just get more and more games like this, as long as they're done well. Like, this is, to me, this is awesome stuff. I recommend Gunvolt to anyone who has ever enjoyed Mega Man. I'd say Mega Man X specifically, because these games just resemble those ones more than the OG ones, but either way, it's all Mega Man-ish, and it's such a blast. And then you got things like this. We've seen probably a few already, just little alarm rooms where the doors are locked and you just got to take out like the enemies and the alert device or whatever. Another thing I will mention about this Let's Play, or yeah, I suppose it's a Let's Play, is that, like, I was more or less going for speed. So anytime where you do see me being like super sloppy, it's literally just because it's like, yeah, well, I know this is going to be lengthy enough, so let's just like run through the whole level and not just take on every enemy like that, just like running across the lava. And then you're getting caught under there. Screw you, man. Ooh, nicely timed jump there. And then we got these sweet ninjas who drop down. I pretty much always ignore those guys too. They use their blades to like whack your shots away, so even though I run past a lot of enemies, those guys were the ones where it was always a matter of just, yeah, I'm not bothering with you. So this guy is not happy with me. And in his final stage, you'll see it, or a final phase, you'll see it coming up. He's got like a bullet hell style attack pattern, which is really cool to see in a game like this, because when it's more on the, well, it is 2D, but when it's more in the 2D platformer vein, you don't really think you're gonna see stuff like bullet hell. So it's just really cool. I enjoyed it. And I'm not sure how well I dodged it in this one because, again, I've only had so much practice with it, but it is pretty sweet. Oh man. I really, really like the idea of just sitting and chatting and not focusing on playing the game, but just watching. There's something so cool about that. So as you can see in the top right, there are just like 4 skill slots that I have. And, yeah, sweet. I'm dodging just fine there. I still take hits to this one sometimes, because it's like wonky. But, so anyway, in the bottom left, you'll see like 3 little slots. And that means you have like 3 points worth of skill, like ability or whatever. So I have one skill that is called Luxcalibur, which I'm not sure if I've used it yet because I haven't been paying attention too much. I've more or less just been stoked about chatting. But that one costs like 2. And then like I have a healing one that costs 1. So you could technically, if you were like strapped for health, you could technically heal 3 times. Just like a small chunk of your health. Or maybe like once and then like 1 Luxcalibur. Or like any of the other ones. Like there are definitely more than just the ones I have equipped right now, but these are just the ones that I enjoyed using. And then you can have I think in the, I'm not sure if I have it on yet. No, I probably don't, but right now I have like a damage halving, so a necklace that halves your damage. But then to get the true secret boss, you've got to actually do the last level and the final boss with a special necklace on. It's called like the handmade necklace or something, and that allows you, if you beat it with while wearing that necklace, then that allows you to actually have the final boss show up, the true final boss. So yeah, we'll see that in episode 3 when we get there, but just letting you know there are some sweet things you can do for sure. But yeah, every single level just introduces something new and interesting. Oh, I think it's the coolest thing. Not that all of it's mind-blowing, but just the fact that like in this one, you're moving these huge items out of the way with your flash field, just so that you can then squeeze past or whatever the case is. It's really, really fascinating. Or even the section where we were just going up those spike sides and pulling out like the trays, or the platforms rather, the trays, the cookie trays. Gunvolt is a fiend for cookies, clearly. His real secret mission in this game is to actually just like, yeah, find the ultimate stash of cookies, and that's why he's going after these blokes. And then here's another interesting section where it's like the magnets above. If you're using your flash field above, or in a section where those magnets are, then you're just going to be floating along the top. So again, you can use, well actually that doesn't require a special skill, but there is one gem in this level where you float across the top, if I'm not mistaken, and then you just get it. But it's neat because like you're using, even though games have done all sorts of stuff like this before, it's cool to see. It's cool to me anyway, just to use platforms to protect yourself from shots that are coming down, even though, as we can clearly see, half the time I just completely ignore everything and run for the damage anyway. this game is so good. If I didn't have like Gunvolt 2, I could easily see myself playing through this a third time, like right away. Like, I'm not even kidding. This game is just, it's so fun and action-packed and kick-ass and also like short. Like it's not short, but like it follows the Mega Man formula. So like if you know what you're doing, then like anyone who's played Mega Man knows that like you can just rip through those games so quick. So in that sense, it just checks off a lot of things for me that say like, okay, yeah, you could easily just play this and just keep leveling up and just get so destructive and just so OP, and that would be awesome. And maybe I will play it again, I'm not sure. It might not be like right away because I have just played it twice, and that's kind of enough, but I could easily see myself doing it anyway. But yeah, Gunvolt 2 is definitely going to be what I do next. Unless Mega Man 0 shows up today, that would be so good. Man, we're almost at the end of this first episode. That's amazing. Now, some people might not be into the fact that I'm like skipping all the scenes where you see them transform and all this stuff, but yeah, if you are really that into it, then just get the game. Seriously, it's worth it. Normally I dodge this all the time because it's the easiest thing, but for whatever reason I was just, yeah, too much of a rush, probably. I'm just not timing things properly. That time I did it fine. But yeah, that explosion when he smashes down is crazy. Just top up and heal the health there. And I love when you get them to their last third of health. That's when they bust out their big, like, big move or whatever, which you've seen from the other dudes as well. Oh man, that's smash! This guy is such a beast, though. He looks so awesome, and I love that his like arm or his like shoulder pads essentially are also weapons. Oh, that's so cool. I love when sections come off a boss and do other things as well. It's just so cool. So this is his like mega explosion, whatever. But anyway, we're actually so close to beating him. So I think I'll start my whole like, okay guys, thanks for watching routine. But yeah, no, I've actually really enjoyed doing this. I'm super stoked for just doing the next episode like this as well. Like I said, I have the whole game recorded. It's just a matter of doing the commentary now. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for being here, and yeah, we'll see you next time.